Hello, welcome back. It's Nat. I am got day one of my Christmas card series for 2025. I didn't do one last year. I think I did the one the year before. I can't remember. I don't know. I am playing with this set from Tracey Hayes. It's called Candy Cane. I don't know why I paused there because, this is about the third time I've done this voiceover because my laptop keeps crashing. Anywho, it's called Candy Cane Cuties. Oh my gosh. So I've stamped out quite a few of my candy canes. I am not going to be using all of them. I'm using all but one. Now, generally speaking, with colouring white, the trick is to leave some white. But I generally use C3 and C1 because I find the C5 is a lot darker, a little bit too dark. But I thought I'd have a play with it. And I'm actually not. I generally use C3 and C1. But in this video, I actually picked up N3 and then C1. So I have C5, N3, and C1. Do you and I can tell the difference? Probably not. I'm not artistically trained in the sense of word. I'm not trying to put myself down or anything else, but there is a little bit of difference between someone who has gone to school to do it and someone who is probably a good, I don't know, 80% self-taught. I'm just saying. Anywho, I have showed you two of the candy canes, mostly this one because it was slightly different with the shadows. So where something is sitting on the top of it, it's going to cast a shadow onto the thing behind it. If I had my thing again, I would probably not do C5, but I did, and I still like it. But generally speaking, for me, it's just a little bit too dark on the edges, but you do you, boo. Anywho. So with the elephant, I am colouring the whole lot. So I'm going to use much more of my C5, my N3, and my C1 is just going to be a little bit less. Again, because my light source is from the top right, it's going to be casting a shadow on the top of his, not casting a shadow, be light on top of his head. Around the side where his trunk is going to be a little bit darker. His belly is going to be darker. And the bottom of his arms are going to be dark because they're going to be curled around. I'm also bringing in the R30 here to provide a little bit of just pink, a touch of pink in his little ears. So as you can see, I haven't listed it in the top, but that's what I've used. I will leave a link over down the bottom in the description bar to the blog post that you can see everything. I used R89 on my little heart because we're going to bring a little bit more green in, more red, I should say, in later on. My greens here are G29, G07, G14, and G12. Now, do you know you need to do a little bit of Copic maintenance on your shock horror Copics? I did not really know. I've heard people do it, but I didn't realize that it's actually something you should do. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. What you will see very shortly is me look at the tip of my G14. And if you look at your markers, I weigh my markers to check on how filled they are. So for chows, I'm roughly looking at about 10 and a half grams. For sketches, it's more like 14, I think it is. Anywho, just there, I'm showing you that my tip is really a bit weird. Now, I am, sidestep here for a second, I am trying to figure out what to do with my camera because on this table, it bumps and I don't know quite what to do. Anywho, basically what they say, Google says, is that you have to clean the insides of your cap regularly. Now, I've sort of heard a couple of people do, but sometimes people can be a little bit more particular with their supplies than others. I was just saying. And now I know that they are totally correct, because apparently it is dried ink that is being deposited on the tip of your marker. What I find then is that it will, I don't know what it does, it just sort of dries it out, and the marker is still strictly speaking full, but it's dried out and it's basically gone to copy heaven. Anywho, we'll digress for a second here. I've sort of figured out where I'm going to have my placement. So the idea is this red twine, which a friend actually lent me this because I couldn't find mine. I'm still trying to find bits and pieces in this place since moving. Now the American peeps, you can get some on Amazon, but for the Australian peeps, what I did find is, and it's over on my blog, this information, Hobby Hoppers here in Melbourne, they actually have a hemp cord that is the red and white. Hemp cord is generally, I find, thicker, but if you can't find twine, then that might be an option. Just saying. And yes, I've used the back of some sheets that I didn't need, or I printed it onto the wrong thing, or there's lots of different reasons. I have placed two small little foam dots on the top of my candy cane, just sort of trying to space them out a little bit so they can actually sit, the twine can sit in between the two foam dots, and the base of my candy canes here are actually have a little bit of glue down here, so they're going to be at a bit of a dimension at the top and it's flat down the bottom. This is going to help with my little elephant, and I'm trying to sort of make them so they're not straight. I will completely say that I had a little bit of issue with the left hand side of my card here. That is purely inside my brain, because I wanted to put another candy cane up there, but he's carrying a candy cane. He needed to have space for a candy cane. So we're going to add a little bit of, honestly, I play around with this card. I added a little bit of Stardust Stickles, which if you watch my channel for any length of time, you'll know that's one of my go-tos. And then I ended up with just going for some clear sequins, which I just popped into the Stardust Stickles because it was already there. I've mounted this up on some cherry cobbler cardstock, and then we've got Happy Christmas, because I thought that was rather fitting, because you suck on the candy canes. That's my theory. I don't know, but that's how my brain works. So I thought it was fun. I thought it was cute. Theory, I could have left the card as is right now. It's nice, it's lovely, it's clean. I just wanted a little bit more. I thought it needed a bit of sparkle, so I'm going to put lines of Stardust Stickles around the edges of my candy canes to give them some prettiness. And then I started to do little drops of it here and there, and then I'd rub it off. I deleted it because you don't need to see my brain sort of processing what I'm doing. But if you do it early enough, you can wipe Stardust Stickles off and no problem, you don't have any issues. So you may notice that some of these have altered their position a little bit. And so basically I'm going to use the glue as straight glue, put the clear sequins over the top, and that is going to be my card for today. So as I said, I will leave a description. I will leave a link down below in the description bar and over to the blog, which is going to have all the details, and I'll have some links to products and also all the Copics that I used, including a big brief rundown of cleaning your Copics. Anyway, that is it for me today. I hope you're well. Take care, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye.